What is the next step? We install ADK WinP, it's completed. Now we need to install SQL Server. So we have 2014 SQL, okay? So any in SQL information is same, okay? So you can go to SQL Server 2017 or 14, that's fine. You can open double click the software, you go to installation, install a new standalone site, then come down. You will go keep the evaluation version so that you will get a 180 days of free version, then next, then next, then next. Here you need to see, select the database engine services, then that's the only one they configured. Okay, but in 2014 we'll have one more service, and also we can give the instance name. Okay, then you can start installing. You can give your service account of SCCM installation. Okay, then you can start installing the. This is very mandatory. Collation, SQL Latin 1 General CP1 CIAS. If you not installed, SCCM will not install. You make sure this collation. Interview questions also will ask, what is the collation for SCCM? You need to by heart this name. SQL Latin 1 General CP1 CIAS. Okay. So then give the local admin, like what account will have a SQL full permissions you need to give. Then finally you need to click on install. It will take like 15 to 20 minutes of time to install a SQL server. Is it clear? The same thing we will do. I want to mount my SQL server because no, I have only server operating system. So what I will do, I go to my CD-ROM, I go to CD, browse, I will browse the SCCM, go to my SQL server. Sorry, where is my SQL server? Somewhere in the older version where I copied.
Last one.
Sorry, yeah, SQL 2014.
Yeah, this one. Yeah.
SQL 2014 service pack 2. Okay. So, okay. I try to update this SQL version also. Let me test. Let me download the latest version of SQL and keep it the next time where you can do 2017 or 2019 where I try to download the SQL. Okay. Which you can practice. So as of now, you can install this one. So once it's done, you can double click on yes. If not, you can right click open. There is a setup.exe. Double click and install. Okay. You need to wait for a minute. So it will load the settings here. Okay. So wait for a minute. Then you need to go to the installation, select installation, start. Click on this one. Okay. Wait for a minute. So it will respond. So loading. Okay. So it will take at least a minute to load configuration. Then it will see you the window. A simple next concept, but you need to select some more options. Okay. If you have any doubts, you can search in Google with step-by-step installation. You will find plenty of documents. Okay. So that you can refer for an installation or you can refer the video or any document. Yes, initially it will take some time for you, maybe 1 week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Yes. But once you come, it will, if you practice for a week, at least a month, okay, then you will understand the basics of how you can install the things, everything. Within a week or 2 days, it's very tough to get this complete installation knowledge and all. Installation will fail. Practice. Sorry, I lost. Yeah. Is it audible?
Yes, sir, audible.
Yeah. So now it's came to the evaluation version. Okay. It automatically came to the next step. Select the evaluation version. In companies, they will choose the product code. Okay, but for 180 days, we'll go with the free. Then next, the same document, whatever, see, I accept. Then hit next. Then it will check some prerequisite check whether you added your local administrator locally or not. Okay, that's fine. Hit next. So it want to update something that's not mandatory. You can hit next. If you have an internet, it will directly download the latest some of the patches which are related to the software, and it will update. So warnings can be ignored. Hit next. SQL server feature installation basic one. Hit next. Then next. Here you need to choose the database engine services. Then okay, then data management tools and basic. But in latest version, they are not selecting these options. You can select this only one option. What we will do, and also you need to select the reporting services also native. This one, two, and then data management tools. The installation will happen in the C drive. Some companies, the installation will change to the other drives. Okay, root drives. But next, the pre-checks only .NET 3.5 is mandatory before installing SQL. That's why we install features, roles and features. Then we'll come to the installation. The default instance MS SQL Server. Fine. Hit next. So here you can leave it like this and install if you are getting any errors. If not, you can change it to your service account. Every company will have service account. Like whatever you created SCCM admin, you can use the same account. Change it to automatic. Give the password. Last thing, you can ignore it. Okay. Make sure your collation is selected to CP1 CIAS. If it's not selected, you can go to the customize and select here and see whether SQL Latin 1 General CP1 CIAS are there. SQL Latin 1 General CP1 CIAS. Sorry, it's gone. See, you need to select this option, then select SQL Latin 1 General CP1 CIAS. Then okay. SQC, you can compare if you have a confusions. Okay. So SQL N1 General CP1 CIAS. CP1 CIAS, that is mandatory. Make sure that selected next. You need to give one account that has a full permission to SQL now. Add a current account. If you want any other groups, add and type your SCCM admin group. So all the groups, all the users which are part of this group will have a full access to the SCCM. Then here you need to go to data drives. In companies, they will change, but if you put it to S drive, so your SQL information will be stored in the S drive. Okay. In companies, they will change. If you want C drive, that's fine. If you do not have multiple drives, also fine. You can install in single drive. But in companies, what they will do for SQL, they will keep it in even user DB, temp DB also they will keep in two different drives in SQL. Means for user DB, they will give one drive. Temp DB also they will give one more drive. Okay. But we do not have much drive. That's fine. So that we'll give one drive for all SQL. Okay. Then hit next. Install and configure. Next. Finally, it will check the checks. Everything is done. Then it will ask you to start install. Click on install. That's it. So SQL installation will done. It will take 15 minutes to 20 minutes of time. Depends upon your RAM speed. If in SSD, it will complete within 20 minutes. If it's not an SSD, it will take 45 minutes to and more, depends upon the CPU and RAM. Even we have students who installed with the 2 GB or 1 GB RAM installation. Means they given instead of 4 GB, they given 2 GB. It takes about 6 to 8 hours of time for installation. Is it clear? Someone has installed
Sir, clear, sir.
back. If you give 2 GB RAM, you install, it will install. Instead of completing within an hour, it will take 8 hours or 6. There is no time limit. Okay, you need to do an R&D on your lab. So let's pause recording for 1 minute so that we'll wait. So the recording will be very lengthy. So it's almost 80 to 90% completed. The final configuration is going to done. It may complete next 5 minutes or so, so that you will see get the one command prompt like SQL is completed successfully. Let's wait for 2 more minutes and see it is completed or not. So SQL installation, yeah, what time we started? Maybe 10 minutes before. I not taken the time into consideration. So let's wait for 2 more minutes. See, installation is completed. Management tool is complete. So once it's done, you can close it, close it. So once you install, you can see SQL server, SQL. But in the latest version of SCCM, sorry, SQL, SQL Management Studio is the one which is connected to the SQL Server. With below 2014 version of SQL, SQL Management Studio will comes with the SQL Server installation. But whenever you're going above 2014, like 2017 or 2019 SQL, after installing SQL, you need to download SQL Management Studio is a separate software. Is it clear what I'm saying to you? In the latest version of SQL, they made SQL as a separate and SQL Management Studio as a separate software. Is it clear? So still we are using 2004, you will get a shortcut of SQL. Okay. In 2017, you will get a two different files, one for SQL installation, one for to connect to the SQL Management Studio, which you need to install. Where the shortcut would be SSMS here. So in the run, you can type SSMS. You are opened with the SQL Server configuration. Connect. Or you can go to start and search for SSMS. SQL Server 2014 Management Studio. And one more configuration would be like SQL Configuration Manager will be there. SQL configuration. This is also, we won't do any changes here. Some troubleshooting, we will look into this. These are the, by default, this is disabled. Leave it like that. It's not much mandatory. Okay. So that's fine. These are the two important things. This is what SQL things are ready now. What we need to do, the next step would be SCCM installation. Am I right or wrong? SQL is done. See, the latest version of SQL, they are saying download this SQL Management Studio. You need to install like this separate installation. Once it's installed, it will ask reboot. Then you need to launch the latest version of SQL using SQL configurations. So they are saying ADK versions which are compatible or not. This is old screenshot. Okay, fine. Once ADK is done, they're installing SQL first, then ADK next. That is not mandatory. You can do vice versa. Okay. Before installing SCCM server, ADK WinP SQL must install. Clear. Now they are coming with the SCCM installation. This is the video. So what we will do, let me pause.